Americans are horrible at saving money. Check this out. The median household bank account balance is $5,300, which might seem like a lot, but if your car breaks down, game over. So let's change that. 1. Break it down and build it back up. What's your savings goal this year? 7,000, 8,000, over 9,000? Okay, let's say $9,000. 9 grand? Way too much money. I get it. 9,000 is a scary number, but don't think about that amount. Instead, think about 2,466. Take a deep look at your expenses. Can you squeeze your budget just a little bit and cut out $24.66 every day? If yes, by the end of the year, you'll have $9,000 saved up. What most people don't realize is that their vices can cost them hundreds of dollars a week. And I'm not only talking about cigarettes and alcohol. Vices can be as mundane as ordering takeout. Huh? But I'm hungry. Netflix, Uber, your unlimited phone data plan even though there's Wi-Fi everywhere. There's a psychological phenomenon called present bias, where you tend to put more value into present trade-offs rather than long-term goals. And here's how to hack your brain. After breaking down your goals into smaller pieces, instead of thinking you're only saving $24.66 every day, think of it as you're saving $9,000 at the end of the year. By switching your mindset into this bigger number, you become more conditioned to fight off this YOLO mentality. But look, I get it. It's easier said than done, and we all struggle to keep our impulses from getting out of control, and we often fail. But what if? 2. The secret to impulse control. Oscar Wilde said, "I can resist everything except temptation." And that speaks volumes. I personally have a super addictive personality. I'm obsessed with video games, Counter-Strike, Left 4 Dead, Team Fortress 2, Age of Mythology. In fact, my biggest brag is that I finished the entire main quest in Skyrim in 2 days. Thank you very much. The reason you and I, give into our impulses is because of this thing called dopamine. It's the pleasure chemical in our brain that gets released when we give in. But one thing that you need to know about our buying impulses is that you don't actually get the huge hit of dopamine when you buy the thing. Pretty much after buying something that you've wanted for a while, you sort of forget about it after a few days. Studies found that you actually get the dopamine hit from the anticipation of buying the thing, not when you actually buy it. And companies across the world know this. They spend billions of dollars to exploit this deep-seated weakness in our brain. They use tricks like the classic on sale sign where they make you feel like you're actually saving money, or they start setting up thresholds making you spend $100 more just so you can save $5 on shipping. But you know what's really affordable and is 100% off right now? Turning that like button into a beautiful black. Here's how I fight these spending impulses. The 2-week rule. Whenever I see something that I really want to buy, I wait 2 weeks. I let my dopamine get its fill and acknowledge that this is probably it. If by the end of those 2 weeks I still want to buy it, then I'll go ahead and buy it. But what happens 99.3752.5% of the time is that I realized that I didn't want those things in the first place and it was just an impulse. 3. Automation 67. There's a psychological thing deep in your mind called loss aversion that makes saving so hard. Loss aversion is when you feel strong negative emotions when you perceive that you're losing money. You know what I'm talking about. You feel it when you take out a chunk of your income and you put it into your savings account, because our lizard brain perceives that we're losing it, even though that money is still ours. The trick around this is to set up automatic deposits on the same day as your paycheck. Since it's automatically sent to savings, you won't even notice when it's gone. Let's say you earn $67,000 a year. If you automatically deposit 10% of it, you would have close to 7 grand by the end of the year. Not bad considering you don't have to lift a finger after you set it up once. Think about this as a self-tax, where your future self is charging you a 10% tax on all your earnings so that your future self can be financially free. If you pay your self-tax now, you'll keep future you happy, which would make you happy, which would make me happy because you're happy, right? A great way to automate your savings that I like to use is with PrizePool, which is also today's sponsor. With PrizePool, I get a chance to win $10,000 every 4 weeks from doing what I normally do, saving money. But what is PrizePool? It's a savings account on steroids that offers an APY that's 6 times more than the national banking rates. But that's not what's cool about it. Lots of people find saving money hard because it's boring and dull. But here's how PrizePool is transforming the savings game and making it more interesting. Every single week, PrizePool gives out almost 6,000 cash prizes, totaling $50,000 each month. And every 4 weeks, you'll have the chance to win their grand prize of $10,000. There's no fees or minimums to get started. Plus, they're FDIC insured, so it's a safe place for your emergency funds and savings. And even if I don't win their grand prize, I'm personally still getting an APY that's 6 times more than the national banking rates. Think of Prize Pool as a fun and easy way to get you motivated to build up your savings and emergency fund, while getting a chance to win some cold hard cash. If you're interested in getting a chance to win $10,000 every 4 weeks from just doing what you normally do, check out the link in the description down below. 4. Would you like cash with that? You're strolling through Target, checking out the snacks, the Doritos, the Takis, and then you see it. The newest Apple iPad shining bright like a diamond. You slowly walk up to it and then stop. We often get caught up in whatever we want to buy. We see the latest gadgets and always think that we absolutely need it, even though the only difference is you can open up your apps 2 seconds faster. Check this out. Before you pull the trigger, ask yourself, instead of spending $1,000 to save 2 seconds on this new iPad, would you rather be paid $1,000? And this is the moment you realize it's much more valuable to you to have the cash on hand. And if you still really want the iPad, remind yourself of strategy 2 at this timestamp. Pause and take an honest look at all your belongings in your room. Go on, do it. How many of those things would you rather have cash for? It's a simple yet powerful question that will put your decisions into perspective and develop a clearer relationship between money and value. But if that doesn't work, 5. The truth about value. You can level up your understanding about money and value with this one question. How much time is something worth? Check this out. Let's say you wanted to buy the newest phone for $1,000. I want you to think how many hours you need to work to buy that phone. If we take the US median income of $67,000 and divide it by the average 2,080 working hours, that means you get paid about $32 an hour. And I know we're not taking taxes into account, it's just an example guys, cut me some slack. $32 an hour means you would have to work 31 hours to be able to afford that new phone, or about 4 full working days. Knowing that, is it still worth it? It's not the best feeling in the world to think about your time and your money this way, but it's the cold hard truth. For most people, you are trading your hours and your time in exchange for money. And thinking this way lets you see how much you value your time. And honestly, this mindset shift was the pivotal moment that changed my financial life. 6. This formula. This little doozy here is called the future value formula, and it's used to calculate the future value of your money based on inputs like interest rates, deposit amounts, compounding periods, etc. All technical mumbo jumbo. Here's how you can easily think about it. If I said I could give you $100 today or $100 next year, which would you rather have? Hold on, let me use my psychic abilities to hear what you just said. Got it. You'd want the $100 now, right? Because you can actually do something with it instead of just waiting a year. So we'd say that the $100 today is worth more than $100 next week, which is worth more than $100 next year. That's the basic idea behind interest. This formula is just a way to calculate it. If $100 next year is worth less than $100 today, the question is, how much less is it worth? If I asked you whether you wanted $100 now or $105 in a year, you might have to think about it. And that's where the future value comes in. If you can invest $100 in an account that generates 10% interest annually, then you should take the $100 now because the future value of the $100 in a year is $110. If you can't beat the 5% return in a year though, then you should accept the $105 in a year, since $105 will be higher than the present value of $100. Okay, that was a lot of numbers, so rewind to this timestamp if you didn't catch that. So I ask you, you beautiful person, start thinking about the present value of money like this. Think about how much money you could save today, and if you could put that into the S&P 500 index fund, how much would it be worth in, let's say, 15 years, assuming a 10% average annualized return? Let's bust out the calculator. By the way, if you're interested in investing, actually send out free daily market briefs to your inbox every morning on what's happening with the market that you can understand in 1 minute. It's 100% free, link is in the description down below. Okay, let's say instead of buying the magic lamp for $5,000 and actually put it in the S&P 500 for 10 years, then the future value of today's $5,000 is almost $13,000. What if I invested it for 20 years? It'll be worth $33,000. So the question is the magic lamp worth the future value of $33,000? That's up to you, but here's the honest truth. 7, stop saving. You came here to learn about saving money, but I'm here to tell you to stop. And hear me out here. There's more to life than just saving, and that is celebrating. So while the big picture of saving and accumulating $3 trillion before your 40th birthday is looming around you, it's important to take time to appreciate the little wins or the mini goals along the way. People tend to focus way too much on how far they are away from their goals instead of focusing how much closer they actually got. And this is really important because you psychologically have a self-reinforcing nature. Your brain is programmed to respond positively to rewards and small wins because it releases dopamine, which makes you happy. That extra spark of happiness can motivate you to keep chugging along, to not give up, and to actually look forward to reaching the next saving milestone. I'm not talking about going all out and celebrating and buying a new Lamborghini every 2 months. I'm talking about like going out to a nice dinner or watching a movie or whatever you like to do to celebrate. Comment below what you like to do to celebrate your small wins so we can put it into existence, and Mr. Magic Lamp over there will make sure you get it. 8. Take out a ruler. Peter Drucker said, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. And 65% of Americans can't measure it because they have no idea how much they spent last month alone. I get it, tracking spending is more painful than stepping on Legos, but it doesn't have to be boring. I'll share what I personally use in just a bit. Tracking expenses is essential because it'll help you be cognizant of your spending habits, which is vital in optimizing your spending and your savings. But my favorite part about it is that it really makes you consider each new purchase before you make them, because you know in the back of your head that it's gonna show up later on, haunting you for the rest of your life. And also, it makes you more motivated to save. I personally use a free app to track my spending, which makes it so easy. Follow me on Instagram and send me a DM with the words apple bottom jeans, and I'll send you the app. Also, beware of scam imposter accounts pretending to be me. I will never ask you for money. 9. Here's the problem. Most people think that savings is equal your income minus expenses, but that's wrong. The book Psychology of Money believes that saving is equal your income minus your ego. Look around your room. How many things did you buy actually come from your ego? Probably a lot. Houso believes that spending beyond the minimum need of materialism is mostly just a reflection of ego, a way to show people that you have or had money. Meaning the quickest way to increase your savings isn't about raising your income, but rather raising your humility. You can spend less if you desire less, and you will desire less if you care less about what others think of you. One of my favorite messages from the book is that you don't actually need a specific reason to save money. You can save for saving's sake because it gives you the options and flexibility, the ability to wait, to have the cushion, and to pounce when you see an opportunity. By being able to save, you have more control over your time and options. But if your only focus in life is to save money, then it's not going to end well for you because of this. This is not the stock market or cryptocurrency. This is the purchasing power of the US dollar over time. Every minute you save is another minute inflation is eating away at what you worked so hard for, and it's only going to get worse. That's why you absolutely need to learn the secret strategy to profit, even if the market crashes. This video is going to change your life.